share it once you go live. Okay.
Hello, hello, hello. We are live in Facebook. If you are out there and all of those lovely people that agree to come in, this is your time. This is your time.
Absolutely. We are live. Welcome to Purpose Over Panic with Michelle Raymond and Dr. Kimberly Ellison. We're going to give you a few minutes to come on, but we are looking forward to the dialogue and the discussion. And we are excited that we're able to collaborate in such a time, an unprecedented time, yet a time of purpose for men and women in the professional world and in the world of entrepreneurship and business ownership.
Most definitely. So I'm just checking that we are live on the channels. Can you see Dr. Kimberly?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, brilliant. So it looks like we have 14 people so far watching. If you could say hello in the comments so I can see that you're there. Hi, Darren. Thank you for joining. Brilliant. I can see people joining. Feel free to say hello in the chat box. And if you've got any questions during this time, feel free to ask your questions and I can put your questions on the screen and we can try to answer them. Brilliant. Good. So we've got 18 people.
So let's just rock and roll. No matter who comes on, we're just going to rock and roll. As others join, we want to say welcome, and we wanted to create an environment that would be safe for women professionals and business owners around the world to know that we are thinking of you as women professionals that have our own organizations, our own businesses, but also with a professional and corporate background that extends to itself to 40 plus years together. And so we wanted to come on and continue to encourage you as a kingdompreneur, as a woman who loves God, as a man who's in business right now. And our world is in the middle of a crisis. And so we wanted to just really spend some time answering your questions, but also dialoguing around some of the hot topics that are going on right now. So the first thing that we talked about is why purpose over panic, and what does purpose look like in the middle of a pandemic? Because if you think about pandemic and the word panic, then it is a root word of such a time that we're going through now. So pandemic, I'm telling you, we have to understand that what we're going through and being aware of our surroundings, being aware of the environment and what's taking place in our world today. But we also have to stand in a place of purpose. And so Michelle and I have joined forces with both of our organizations to come on and just share a little bit about who we are. For those of you who may not know who I am, Dr. Kimberly Ellison. I am held here in the US of A, and I help men and women, but most importantly, help people move from potential to achievement in their personal, professional, and spiritual walks of life. I am a strategist and as well as a consultant, and I own Dr. Kimberly Ellison Global, which is DK, Professional Development and Training. But most importantly, I am a daughter of the Most High God. I am an activator in the kingdom to help you move into the purpose in which God has created you to bring his kingdom in the earth.
Yes, I love it. And I am Michelle Raymond. Many of you who are on my personal page will know me already. I am a HR consultant and a visibility coach. And I have been working in the HR industry now for more than 15 years. I've been speaking for about, I would say, 5 to 6 years. And I just want to say, when I saw Dr. Kimberly, so I saw her on Facebook first. I just want to share this story, yeah?
Okay.
I saw her on Facebook, and we were also meant to be speaking at a conference together.
Mm-hmm.
And I then checked her out, and I was following her, and I was liking her pages, and I was sharing her stuff. And anyone who knows me, I'm always saying about your network and follow the person, not the position. And I've been following Dr. Kimberly, and when this downturn started happening, I just said, I need to reach out to her, and I want us to do something together. So what we're going to talk about today is not just for this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just for the season, it's for beyond. When we talk about purpose, and when we talk about our walk with God, and when we talk about moving from profession to purpose, This is what God has ordained for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I spoke to Dr. Kimberly about this, she was full of it, and she was in it 100%, which I think is absolutely great. And now we're here, and we have core topics that we want to speak with you about.
Yes.
Any questions? This is the time.
This is the time. Go ahead and put your questions in there. And first, Michelle and I were really talking about, I know you all probably seen the show Red Table Talk, and this is just us coming into your world, in the virtual world, and just sitting and having a discussion around our businesses, our professions, and most importantly, our lives. And so when we think about it, most people say, you know, I don't know my purpose and I don't know what it is. But when we talk about purpose, what is purpose? You know, and so put in the comments, you know, what is purpose? Do you know your purpose and you're living on purpose? But here is the thing. Purpose is what we were created to do. It's our intended use. And how is it that God created you, and how did he intend to use you for his glory? And what is it that you are to live to do? And so when we think about that, in the middle of a panic, and a panic is, if you think about it, Michelle, a panic is pretty much like, most of the time, you know, we think of going crazy, we think of going haywire, we think of it, but a panic is just a sudden, uncontrollable fear and anxiety. It is beyond our control. It is something we did not cause, and it happens to us. Mm-hmm. But the thing I want to encourage you is that because it happened to us does not mean that it happens in us. Doesn't mean that we have to carry the panic on the inside. And so with that, what we were created to do, our use and how we were intended to be used by God, it comes from the inside. But we don't have to sit in panic, because that is something that comes from around us. So we want to encourage that message on today.
Yeah, and I just love what you say, that when what people don't realize, now there's going to be people watching who are Christians, they're going to be people who are not Christians. It doesn't matter what you believe in. Mm-hmm. But I just want to just that we have favor on our side. We have something that other people don't have. Mm-hmm. In this crisis, we deal with it differently. We handle it differently. We approach it differently. So today, somebody who is very dear to me and to my family, they passed away today. Mm-hmm. And somebody said to me, Michelle, are you still going to do your purpose over panic? And I said, even more so, because it's easy for me just to cry and be there for my friend and not do anything about it. But because I know the purpose that God has laid on my life, yes, because I know that purpose, my whole alignment, my whole being is to do the work of the Lord in the world that we're in. Mm-hmm. I had to show up. This is why we had to show up, because today I chose purpose over panic.
Yes,
I chose purpose.
This is it. This is it. And I think that's the truth. What ladies and gentlemen as well, when you think about it, we're looking for living epistles. The word is looking for living epistles. Sometimes you need to show up as a living epistle. You need to be able to see not just the messaging, but the messenger. You need to be able to understand that it's not just about coming on and talking about our business and a profession, but also coming on and sharing transparency in your life and how you're showing up. And just as Michelle has talked about losing a loved one, I have a family member that I've had who actually is a COVID survivor. And in that, we went through, you know, the oxygen, and we went through the different challenges of my family member going through COVID-19, but he is a survivor. And in that, I have family members who've been in the hospital all at the same time, that had symptoms and that had comorbidities around their health. And so it has been a time where we could be panicking, or it could be a time that we could be in prayer and pursuing the purpose in which we were intended and created to do. And so I just wanted to share with you all, like, we are really living this topic. And so we want you all to know we pressed today. We came on in spite of how we felt. We came on in spite of the external, and we came on because we have a greater purpose. God wants to use us in this atmosphere clear in the professional world, in this type of mountain, so to speak, that this is our territory to come on and be living epistles to share with each of you what it looks like to have purpose over panic in real time. What does it look like when you have to show up for, your business, when you have to show up in spite of for your family, when you actually are furloughed or lose your job or you're not employed or business slows up? Listen, the first couple of weeks, you all, I want you to go ahead and put in the comments, purpose over panic, POP. And so we want you to know that you want to make sure that when you're talking about purpose over panic, that it's not necessarily that you're just focused on the pandemic, but you're focused on your family. You're focused on your children. People are homeschooling and trying to manage their business and trying to manage their emotions. And so we're not saying do not deal with what's going on around you, what's going on in our homes. We are just saying that do not lose sight of God's purpose. Do not lose sight of the promise. Do not lose sight of what he has intended to use us for. And so we want to kick it off, Michelle. We had some questions that we actually had taken.
So this question from Sharina: for those who have lost their immediate income and are panicking, how do you match purpose, matching your natural to the spiritual? Well,
absolutely. This, I'm telling you.
Our first topic is bridging the gap between purpose and profession. So, Dr. Kimberly, do you want to get started on that?
Absolutely. Listen, so I'm so excited because, and thank you, Pastor Sheri, for asking that question, is how do you match purpose? Like when you're losing your immediate income and all of those things, what is it that you do? How do you match that natural and that spiritual? First of all, I'm going to share with you a little thing. When you think about your income and what you're created to do, your purpose, again, is the thing that it's more like, this is what I was created to do. So I want to share with you, when you think about the widow who had the oil, I want to take it there and I'm going to show you the spiritual and then I'm going to show you the practical. So if you look in 2 Kings chapter 4, when Elisha, the prophet, was actually, he actually met up with this widow, and she he asked her, to give him some oil, so something to eat. She said, I don't have anything. I'm actually about to go and all I have at home is these jars. She said, that's all I have, and a little bit of oil, and I'm gonna prepare us and we're gonna die. Like, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna prepare to die. And she said, so that's all I got. I'm going to take this little bit of oil. Once that's over, we're going to eat and we're going to prepare to die. So they were in a situation similar to a panic. They were in a crisis. They were in a place that they had never been before. And everything they knew of is different. So that's similar to us. Everything that we know of right now looks different. And so he said, this is what I need you to do. I need you to go back home and I need you to go to your neighbors and I need you to ask for the jars. I need you to go in and ask them for jars, and not just one jar, but ask for all of it, all your neighbors for these jars. Y'all, that's collaboration. So when you're talking about how do you then take the spiritual, if you lost income, and then what are the partnerships? What are the networks? Who are the people that you can actually reach out to? What are they doing currently? So then you want to take, he says, now you take all those jars and you take the oil that you have. That means something that she already had, what she had at home. So I want to encourage you that you already have things that are already in you. Think about the skills, think about the experience, the gifting, those things that you can actually use at this time, in addition to collaboration, in addition to creating. And then I want you to take what's in your hand and then you begin to pour, because every jar was filled. And check this out. The word of God says that she took those jars, every jar that was filled, and she then took them and sold them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So she was in a position that she took the least of what she had and she made the most of it. And then she went out and collaborated and then she sold it. Listen, but what y'all missed is she sold what she borrowed.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, we borrowed the jars, filled them with the oil, so it's value for value. And in that question, when you match your natural with your spiritual, it's about taking the resources that you have, the skills that you have, the knowledge that you have, and being creative. But one thing that I want to be very clear of is he told her to shut the door.
Right.
And many of us are a little confused because we have on the television, we have all social media on, and we're not able to get in that place and hear God say, or remember the things that we do have, or to know the skills that we have. So when she shut the door, that's when she was able to really take her resources and maximize them. So I would encourage you to shut the door during this season, turn off the noise, and identify what are some things that you already have. Be creative, have the skill, the experience, the resources, and then collaborate. Reach out to your network. Closed mouths don't get fed. So that's all I want to share about that. What else do you think, Michelle?
I'm listening to you and something dropped in my spirit, and I've said it before. What is in your hand? Now, we can look at different people and we judge ourselves according to other people, and we feel like we should be better, we should be further than where we are. But God is saying, use what's in your hand. Use what's in your hand. And when the question was posed about bridging the gap between purpose and profession, I remember a preacher, his name is Bishop Wayne Malcolm, and I've got his book here, and he talks about bridging the profession and your purpose, that we are meant to be salt and light of the earth. So we can't just be going to our churches and just have the same people, the same types of people in the church. We need to go out into the world. We need to be a light in the world. So during this time, I focus most of my attention doing coaching, but I have to pivot, because right now there's employers that need me, there's employees that need me, and they need my skills and human resources. I had to use what's in my hands. I had to digest the information and to be able to regurgitate it in a simple way to answer people's questions, to support and guide them through this process. Using what's in my hands, because my purpose is not just to serve God. My purpose is also to serve man. So when people say, oh, Michelle, sometimes your services are too, sometimes they've said in the past, my service is cheap. And I know there's some people who are online and they will say that, but I know what I was called to do, because I'm walking my purpose. Everything I do, I am strategic about it. I am intentional. And I am trying to marry my purpose, what God has called me to do. And he's called me to work with people, to support people. He downloaded in my spirit that the business should be called a partner, because I should be partnering people. And so this is what I'm doing in this season. And when we are out of this season, we'll be doing the same. So I want to encourage every single one. And I'm looking at the comments, people are saying, use their skills and experience. You've got to be creative and collaborate, just like Dr. Kimberly said.
Absolutely.
In your hands, you find somebody who can work in alignment to you.
Yes.
Alignment, partnerships. And I always talk about the three types of partnerships, and they're here. There are people who are attracted to you. And these people, they like you because there's something about you that is attractive. That, you know, some people might say there's something about you. I don't know what it is. But people will only be attracted to you for a period of time. And then they'll move on to somebody who is more attractive. Then you have somebody who is aligned to you. I've mentioned this before, and people who are aligned to you, they are aligned to you for a particular cause, a particular purpose. So right now this is happening. You might be joining forces with other consultants, other coaches, other health and wellness people, but that might be just for this period of time that they are aligned to you. But then God drops in your network people who are assigned to your vision, assigned to your purpose. And this is what myself and Dr. Kimberly are doing. Dr. Kimberly is assigned to my purpose.
Absolutely.
She didn't know it before, she knows it today.
Absolutely.
Her vision.
Absolutely.
Collaborate. And this is exactly what Dr. Kimberly was saying and what other people were saying.
Absolutely. When I think about it, even now, when we talk about utilizing purpose, the intended use, using your skills and using your ability and using what's in your hands, I actually lost 2 clients, Michelle. And for those of you who joined us, I actually lost 2 clients immediately at the beginning of the crisis. And when I was a little, I didn't panic, but I was a little concerned. I have staff that I have to pay. And so in that, I was like, oh, wow, what do I do now? But let me share with you about using what's in your hands. I had a previous client, when we talk about networking, they reached out just to see how my business was going in this particular time. And so with that, they had a contract and they were able to hire my company to come on and do some HR staffing. And so I'm able to do that, and my company is able to provide that service. But it's a skill that I haven't used in a very long time. But guess what? Because we're in the middle of a panic, and because we're in the middle of a pandemic, the purpose in which I was created for, which is to help people move from potential to achievement, and organizations move from potential to achievement in their businesses, in their personal life, I was able to tap into that skill. And so we have to be able to maximize sometimes the things we've minimized. Where are the things that you put on the closet? Where are the things where's the oil that you feel like you only have one thing left or a little bit of that left? Where is it where you can now collaborate, connect, network, and then pour in that? And then you also provide a service or a product for that.
I love that. And I think you've just actually answered Mandy's question. So Mandy's question is, do you see this as an opportunity to adapt and to realize your purpose? And Mandy, I'm going to have to say yes, most definitely. And I believe that everybody is multifaceted. So there's skills, like Dr. Kimberly said, that you have not even unearthed, forgotten about, that you didn't even realize you had. Now, we're using technology. We're using StreamYard today. And people who know, I do not like technology. But in this period of time, I've learned to embrace it. So I'm trying to look at this from a different perspective. And how can I use things that I never used to like to help support and underpin and undergird my purpose?
Yes.
And our purpose is to do this today. And I had to get to understand StreamYard. So yes, there's ways that we can adapt to make sure that we're fulfilling our purpose.
Absolutely. And when you think about it, thanks for that question, Mandy, as well. I believe that every day is an opportunity to realize your purpose. I believe that this time, to Mandy's question, is adapting to that. What is it that now, sometimes we can get so linear in our thinking that we get one linear thinking toward what are we supposed to do, right? But there are many purposes that we are actually called to fulfill. And even as business owners or women professionals. And so you're called to be a mother, that's a responsibility. You are, for those of you who are married, that's a responsibility. So you're called to be a wife. You're also called for the business and to provide service to those individuals and products. If you're a speaker, if you are a counselor, no matter what it is, you wear those various hats, but they are all for a purpose in which you were intended for and created to do and live out. When we think about our profession, I want us to be very clear. Our profession is what we were trained to do, yet we get paid for it. And we get a tangible payout, which would be monetary, right? We want an exchange. And so in that, we are still, some people still confuse, Michelle, like, well, how can I blend both of them and still, is it wrong? But I believe that what you were created to do and the skills you have it's just as the Lord said in Ephesians 2:10. And when we talk about it, it says, for we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works. It's not just one, good works. It's plural, which God prepared beforehand. Beforehand means it implies that there is a purpose. And that's what that means, beforehand. Good work, which God prepared beforehand. So there is purpose, but then there's also good works that we're required to do, our profession and our purpose, that we should then walk in him, meaning everything that we do, whether we're in business, whether you show up every day at your 9 to 5, whatever it is, our work is to live out purpose. It is to share his goodness. It is to pour into others. It's to encourage others, to build others. No matter what it is, we are to show up because he has given us good works, okay, which he prepared beforehand. So our profession is a part of our purpose.
I love that. I love that. And this, I just want to share this with you. My career is a sacred calling.
Mm.
I am working for God from my heart. My profession is God's platform. Wherever I am, there he is. I just want to repeat that. My career is a sacred calling. So whatever your job is, you can be the light.
Mm-hmm.
I am working for God from my heart. My profession is God's platform.
Yes.
Wherever I am, there he is. And for me, that's what it's about. That is what it's about.
Wow, that is what I mean. Y'all, listen. I am so excited to be a part of the destiny that Michelle and I have here in the U.S. and in the U.K. And we are, again, the women who are here, and you're running a business. We want to make sure that you understand this platform is for you. This purpose over panic is for you. So whatever questions you have, those thoughts that you've been having, what is it? Go ahead and type those in the comments so that we can take a look at them and share and shed some light on them for you. I think we have a question here now as well. How to run a business successfully and raise a family. Can women really have it all? Go ahead, Michelle.
Well, I've struggled with this. So as soon as we're laying our cards on the table, I'm going to say I have struggled with this. And to be fair, I feel I'm still in that process.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I say this, I work really hard. I am one of those people that they will call or term a workaholic. And I have found in the past that because I've put so much emphasis and so much time into running the business, scaling the business, that I have neglected my home life. I've neglected my husband. I've neglected my daughter. And I've had to fight with myself, and I've struggled with myself. And how do I balance it? How do I make sure that I can run the business, have a successful business, run a nice home, be the beautiful and sexy wife to my husband, be the lovely mother to my daughter? And I have struggled with this. So I don't know if there's anybody who's been in that situation or still in that situation, please put it in the comments, because we're all human. And we've always said that, yeah, women can have it all. The question is, can we really have it all? I really believe that we can. I'm still trying to find the journey. So Dr. Kimberly, if you've got any advice for anyone listening and myself.
You know what, Michelle, we are all, listen, we all care, wear so many hats. And yes, we do. I say it's not balance. And I want you all to think about this in this terms. We will never have balance. It's all about priority. It's all about what level of priority in our life at that particular time. So it's prioritization over balance. We will never have an equilibrium. We were not created for the equilibrium. We were created for priority. The reason how I know that is because the word of God says in Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto thee. All of these things. Can we have it all? Absolutely we can. It says all of these things shall be added unto thee. So what does all of these things mean? And so I want to beg the question here, can we really have it all? What is all for you? And so I think we need to, Michelle, just kind of think about, when we talk about all, what does that look like for each individual person? Because your all may be different from my all. And all may look like money for someone. All may look like having a career and taking care of their children as a single parent. All may look like just maybe having a home, purchasing a house, or, something of that nature, and having a job and being healthy. So I think we need to look at the perspective of prioritization. What is priority for us? And then how do we then put those things in a structure or in an order or a form that shows up in our daily life? So that means not finding the balance, but finding the priority. What's priority in this season for you? Yeah. And it shifts and it changes. And so let me give an example. I remember really just moving in my profession and in my education. And so my husband and I had gotten married, and I just want to share this because we're women and these things happen even in the lives of men. And so we got married, and I thought I had this look, talking about I was moving on in my career, and then I was finishing my PhD. Again, I was doing women's ministry. So I was doing all these things and it was moving. And then my husband says, well, what about having a baby? What about, we start talking about having a baby and starting a family. And so I said, well, absolutely, let's do it. But let's do it after I finished my degree. And so I just want to share with you about the priority. And in that, he was like, well, you can still go to school and we can still start a family. So just to share with you, we started to try to start to have a family and get pregnant. And what we did, we were blessed and we were pregnant. All right. And so we were excited. This is both of our first child. We were in our first year of marriage. And we lost our daughter at 6 months pregnant, and we gave birth to her early. And so I was broken. I was torn. I was distraught. I felt that everything around me had changed. My life had shifted. How was I then to have it all? I was not a mother on earth. I was out of work for months because I was trying to heal physically and emotionally. And now I no longer want to live a life on purpose. Like this was a part of the purpose. Mm-hmm. So when I'm sharing with you, it's all about prioritization and even finishing school. So I sat out for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And what I'm sharing with you, it took me 7 years to finish my PhD. And in that time frame, for me at that time was getting healthy. All was for me was becoming healed physically. All for me was really identifying, can I finish this program? And so when I talk about Matthew 6:33, it's seeking God first and finding my peace again and learning to trust in him again. And then we were able to get pregnant again. And then I was able to finish school 3 years later, but I was consistent at it. But I sought God on what season am I in? And where is it that I'm supposed to have my all now? And so I think we need to take all in perspective. Yeah. What is all? What season are you in for all? And is it aligned with the purpose, your intended use, what you were created to do?
I like that. And as I'm listening to you, I'm just thinking about another word, I guess, for purpose is values. And if we had to just use a secular term in terms of values, it's your values hierarchy. What do you see? So when Dr. Kimberly was talking about prioritization over balance, what is important to you? And when I look at my values hierarchy, my business was hair, making money was actually down here, and my family were down here. And I sat down with my husband and I said, I need to work on my values because right now it's misaligned and I want to change this. And once I changed my hierarchy of values, I saw a shift in the home. And I think a lot of us women, we want to be everything to all beings. And sometimes it's deciding what is going to be your priority. Yes. What is going to be your number one? To make that choice. And if it means that I can't work on the business as often as I would like, or I need to get a team of people, then so be it, because my priorities have shifted. They have shifted. So thank you for that. Thank you. So Karen, I'm going to read out Karen's statement here because it'd be too much to put on the screen.
Okay.
Karen reads, Topping, thank you. She said, can women really have it all? Yes, it depends heavily on the circle around you, working with you and understanding your purpose. Dr. Kimberly is absolutely right when she says everyone's all will be different at different times. So we have to prioritize. Most definitely love it. And that's exactly what we're saying. So ladies and gents, everybody who's watching, please put your comments in the box and I will make them live. So thank you so much. We've got another question. And the question is, this is a good question. Should we continue to run our business during this crisis? Put this up. So this is a hard one. I know what I think, but it'd be good to hear. Guys, if you've got any views on that, share it. Do you think we should be running our business? Should we be charging? How much we've been charging? What's your views? Tell me, share.
We would love to hear your thoughts on it as well. And that way we can put them on and display them as it relates to, should we continue? When we say we, those who are service providers, if you are business owner, small business owner, if you work with individuals as far as coaching and consulting, if you own a product, run a store, like, how is it, like, what are you, should we continue to run our businesses during this crisis? And should you charge a fee for that, or for that, put a cost on that? So I see Tedra. Hi, Tedra. That's actually my sister. She says yes. She says yes. Mm-hmm. Hey, Sheri Lyn says yes. Transform your. Can you put that up there, Michelle? Sheri Lyn says yes. Transform your platform, packages, and seek God on how to service the people. Oh my goodness, that is an amazing perspective, and I'm totally in alignment with it. Thank you for that comment, because it is just as the world is shifting. One thing we have to know as business owners and entrepreneurs, especially those who are in the marketplace of ministry, and when we shift and when the world's shifting, I always share with people. I say, listen, you can still order food right now. You can go up to a Starbucks drive-through. You can actually walk, go up to any type of store, and they can have food to a certain hour in the U.S. I'm not sure what, is happening in the UK.
We've got, I think it's called Deliveroo or Uber, you can still get deliveries, and even some of the local restaurants, they are doing takeaways.
Okay, so takeaways, takeout, we call them carry out, takeout, pickup, and you can still go to Home Depot, you can still do things with a certain time frame. We are isolated and we are stay at home, but they give you a period of time, and there are restrictions with that, right? And so the same way in which the world is still running their systems to produce capital and service individuals is the same manner in which we are called to produce. The world is not the standard. We are the light. Michelle shared that at the beginning. They're not the standard. We are the standard in the kingdom of God. They're not our standard. And we are to continue to serve. It's our purpose, our vision, and our mission. Your purpose is what you were intended to do. What did God call you to do? If it's your business, if your ministry, if it's a nonprofit or some type of for-profit coaching, and then your vision is how he called you to do it. What does that look like? So for Michelle, it's the people's partner, and that's a part of it. And then the mission are the people that you serve. So we have to keep in perspective our mission, our vision, and our purpose. And your people that you are called to serve and to provide services and products for, you still have to show up in that way. Sheri Lyn put it best. You're going to have to pivot, transition your platforms, and change it in a way that still meets the needs of your customer, those people in which you serve.
And I've heard these discussions in Facebook groups, and the argument, because I'm totally in full alignment with Samantha, with Sheri, Mandy, Lynette, Kim, Debbie, all of you that are saying that yes, and I'm totally in alignment. And I heard in a Facebook group, somebody said that we shouldn't be, I think the word they used, we should be taking advantage of people. And I responded and I said, there's a difference between taking advantage and serving the needs. And we are here, we are called to serve the needs. But there has to be a tactical way of doing it, and be very sensitive about how we do it. So even I've been asked to support people who are being made redundant, who are being furloughed. And so many people said to me, I should charge for it. And I said, the initial advice I want to give, I want to make it free for all. I want everyone to be able to access that. But if they need something a bit more deeper, if they need a bit more holding, if they need more of my time, then I can charge for that. Yeah. So I definitely agree that we need the economy to run. We definitely need the economy. and we must be sensitive about it. But we still have to serve people. We just need to know how to pivot our business and serve people. And we've got a couple of people have said something here. Yes, and like, so a lady called Sam Oliver, who I know, she said that she's still providing a service in the community. So I know that she runs a Caribbean takeaway. Now, more than ever, we're all stuck at home, and yes, we can all cook from home, but sometimes you just want something different. Now, if she wasn't offering that service, then what would we do? Because she's still offering that service, we know we can go to her shop or we can order a delivery. She is serving the needs of her clients during this time. Definitely.
And I love, Michelle, what Sheri Lyn put here. The difference between taking advantage and serving the needs, it's our motive. What's driving the service? And oftentimes we are a little uncomfortable with talking about money, but I'm a little confused. If we're in business, you're in business to make money. It's not about not make. You're in business for profit. And what I'm sharing with you means it's not about coming up with price gouging products and services. It's about providing value that people, remember the oil. She was able to sell the oil from jars that people gave her. That means that there was value. They found value in the resource. Are people finding value in the resources that you're providing? Are people being able to change or be impacted? Are they able to, are you educating them, elevating them, transforming their mind, elevating their thinking, increasing their skill, their ability? You have to be able to understand the value of what it is that you provide, and do your customers see a value in what you're serving them?
And I just want to touch on what you said about value. We have been led to believe that if you think it's value, other people will think it's value. And I just want to put a caveat in that.
Mm-hmm.
Value. So I might create a product, and my husband and my mom and my cousins, we might think it's all great, and we think, yeah, people's got to love that. But your value, when now servicing the market, is only as good as people say the value is, or is only as good as they're willing to pay for it. So you have to speak to your market. You have to find out from them, what do they want? What do you need during this time? So somebody in the chat box, they said that she hasn't found her purpose, and she doesn't believe her and her husband are aligned together. What should she do? She's asked a question, and the onus and the responsibility on us, myself and Kimberly, is aligned to us serving that need. So, and like Sheri said, it's our motives. Our motives is to help this sister who, after we're speaking about purpose, saying that she's not sure she has a purpose, and her and her husband are not walking together. And the Bible says, how can two walk together if they don't agree? Mm-hmm. So that somebody needs help. So the value that I have, that I can share and impart some words of encouragement, some advice, some coaching, then she's put a price on that value. Mm-hmm. So I want people to think that, oh, if only you think it's valuable, your market needs to think it's valuable. Mm-hmm. Question, what do they want? How can I serve you? How can I help you? What problems are you going through? What can I do to serve you? We have to go into, we're all leaders here, but this is about being a servant leader.
Yes, it is amazing. It is being a servant leader. That's one of the terms I think it's amazing in this time. It's also, when we talk about the values, it has to be our values pretty much are things people believe in. Mm-hmm. When we say valuable, that means they believe in it.
That's right.
And so if you say they find value in it, you make it valuable, meaning things that they believe that are important to them in order for them to live or work.
Yeah.
And that's how you create value. What's important? If you find a problem, solve it. The bigger the problem, the bigger the profit. Yes. And it's not about people paying you for necessarily a service, but they're paying for the value that it brings to their life. I just shared with you, a value is things you believe are important in a way that you live and work. So if this is my value system and you bring something valuable in it, and then I will acquire it and obtain it from you. I will do a fee for service to buy value that you've created. Therefore, is an even exchange. It's not that you're trying to rob me. No, I found value in it first. I don't ever purchase anything that I don't find value in. And if I've ever done that, it's something called buyer's remorse.
That's right.
So that's why it's good to create valuable products and services that solve problems and bring solutions to those in which are part of your mission. The goal is not to reach everybody, but the goal is to reach those who you are called to serve. And when I say called, I'm not talking about overly spiritual. Called meaning your responsibility to. And so when we think about those individuals, you bring value.
I love it. I love it. And Mandy mentioned here that she's found that relationships have deepened during the crisis. Our clients want value and certainty. And I think is a massive word. Certainty is the right word, because we're living in a time of fear. They want to be certain about one thing. So if you can provide a service that allows them to be certain about one thing, you've helped that person.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be all things to everybody. You don't need to try and help every aspect of their life. All they want is for you to serve them at a level of certainty.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. We've got another question. And while I'm getting this question up, Dr. Kimberly, I saw another question which has gone up. And a lady was asking about mental health during, how can we help people who are suffering from mental illness during this time? Because it's definitely could get worse. So do you have any word of impartation while I get the next question?
Absolutely. So first of all, people always say pray, but I say pray and then also seek a professional. And you do that because right now you can do telehealth. And there are various individuals, companies, individuals who are licensed in mental health. They have practices. They're doing telehealth where you can do exactly what we're doing now and dialogue with someone who is a professional who can talk about mental health and mental illness, which are two different things. Everyone have mental health. And mental health is it a healthy point of disposition for you mentally? Have you experienced trauma? We all are experiencing a mental health issue right now, which is traumatic, meaning our schedules have changed, our jobs are at stake, our lives have changed. Those are the things that impact your mental health. I am not a mental health professional. However, I have friends who are. And I also seek mental health in a way for myself that's healthy. Paying attention to your emotions. What are those triggers that cause emotion? Are you feeling down and depressed? Do you need to move around, catch some fresh air? Do you need to have affirmations? Do you want to spend some time with your kids and then carve out time to go spend with your spouse? We have to learn to take a look at our mental health, just like we take a look at our physical health, just like we take a look at our spiritual health and growth. And so you want to be in tune and be self-aware of what are the triggers and things. Most importantly, you want to seek a professional. And I encourage you to do telehealth. It's nothing wrong. And also platforms like this. Listen, for professionals and business owners, it's tough right now. So this type of platform, when you come, you can type and comment and hear others' perspectives. And this helps you walk away full and refueled and ready to go back to that creative space and say, let me shut the door and create this oil. Like, what am I to do? And how am I to serve my mission? And so in that, I think you just want to pay attention to those triggers, get some professional help. Also, yes, definitely pray, but you want to make sure that you are able to reach out to someone with telehealth and be able to have dialogue around what you're feeling, your emotions, and where you are at this time.
Yeah, and so this question was answering Maureen's question. And I think as well, don't be afraid to ask for help. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that there seems to be a stigma, especially if you're a woman or a man at a certain level in business in your life. You feel like you should be able to deal with this yourself. And so we don't seek the help that we need to make feel better and be better. So I want to just openly say, ask for help. You can, even if it's not going straight to a therapist or counselor, ask somebody who can then signpost you. We've got Kimberly in here, we've got Maureen in here, all of those, they're therapists and counselors. They are trained in these areas. Don't be afraid of us if it means just sending a text message, or WhatsApp message, or saying just pray for me, and then you can have those we can really unfold and unpack it and have those conversations. But please do not be afraid to ask.
Oh, absolutely. And you just brought a point. Oh, this is, the Kingdom Boss Chick style. So we're talking about, here are the 3 P's, and you all can share this. You can comment and put this in the comments. When you're talking about your mental health, you want prayer, seek a professional. So pray, professional, and practical. That means you're praying because you want to seek help and who to go to, and asking God for that particular person that would reach out to help you, and even his strength. But then professional, someone who is licensed in that way. And then also practical. What are those things that you can do that would actually help you get to moving and changing your mental disposition?
Yeah.
So prayer, professional, and practical.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. We're coming down to, we've got 2 more questions. So this one is, do you have any great insights on leadership and entrepreneurship? So do you want to start, or would you like?
Well, it's a couple of things. One, you can actually have, you can have one without the other.
That's right.
And I think that entrepreneurship will build leadership. If in a season like this crisis, in this panic that people are experiencing, I think great leaders are not only born, I think that they are developed. And so I think if you are a business owner and you are in this crisis, you now can develop some leadership muscle. If in leading others, you can begin to lead your business, even leading in your industry. Being a leader that thinks outside the box. I think the insight on leadership is always about carrying others somewhere else. It's a ship. If you look at the latter portion of the word, it's a leadership. And that ship means that you're carrying others. And so the insight on that is making sure that as you are in this crisis, the leader is coming out in you, but there's also a ship, bringing others aboard, not withholding information. Withholding information is a sign of scarcity, being afraid that someone else is going to get the spotlight or get the credit, or you want to have the best, out there. Here is the deal. You want to keep your trade secrets, absolutely. But when we talk about sharing ideas, it doesn't take away from you and your business to share something as, for example, StreamYard or BeLive, or how do you get contracts? Or I received a link last week from Michelle saying, hey, I know you're a consultant. I know things are going on. Here's a link. And they're doing work globally. They're looking for individuals who can be consultants at home. She could have kept that to herself out of fear and scarcity, but she lives in the world of abundance because she is a daughter of the king. And so therefore she knows that her father owns cattle on top of 1,000 hills, in which she knows that he is abundance. He is abundance by himself. And so therefore she does not have to withhold it, and she can share that. So I think in this season, entrepreneurship, again, is about being an ingenuity, building that your capability, your creativity, but then also I believe that they will either drive each other.
Yes.
Because you are a leader, you will begin to have more skill as an entrepreneur. But then also, if you're an entrepreneur and you lack leadership, then you're going to develop that leadership muscle.
Yeah, I love that, the leadership muscle, and I love what you're talking about when you refer to abundance. Leadership is all about influence. If you can influence, and it's the same as leading a ship, if you can influence people around you for the better, for the good. And during this time, I've never prayed so much as ever before. I've never been down on my hands and knees. And God said to me, Michelle, it's time to arise. It's time to arise. And I was querying, but oh my God, is this for me? And God said, but I'm making you a leader of people. I'm making you a leader of people. And I thought, but I'm a leader anyway. But a leadership emerges out of strife. And when there's problems, that's when you need a leader to start. If everything is okay, then you don't need a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Someone to take the mantle and to lead the way, to show them hope, to show them purpose. So when I was thinking about it, I'm thinking, am I influencing people? Am I getting people to do the right thing? Am I galvanizing the efforts? And this morning, I did it. I wanted a group of us to pray at 9:30, and I was texting and ringing everybody. And then they let me know after that we all prayed at 9:30, and I gave clear instructions to get down on your knees and pray. And I said, God wants us to be obedient, and being a leader, and like somebody else said, is that servant leadership. Is according to the word of God and doing as what being obedient and telling the people that when I say get down on your knees and pray, get down on your knees and pray. Now, I don't usually talk like this. But I thought, let me do the right thing. Let me show my leadership skills in the time of strife, in the times of difficulties and complexity. And for me, in terms of entrepreneurship, I'm going to put your question there, Mandy. And in the time that we're in now, in terms of entrepreneurship, for me, it's about getting out there, pounding the pavement. And when I talk about pounding the pavement, walk, talk, and talk the walk. There is no time for inauthenticity. We need to be true to ourselves, true to our mission, true to our purpose. Go out there and do the work. Let people see your light before you do the work. Mm-hmm. Some people say, do as I say, but not as I do. I say, do as I say and do as I do. I want to be walking the talk. So that shows me in my leadership, as me as an entrepreneur coming up with new ideas and doing it myself. I just want to put this, show you. So Mandy just asked, do you think new leaders will emerge? Do you think this season will see new leaders emerge?
Absolutely. I believe that this is the type of environment that leaders are created in. Everything that is, when we think about growth, we think of a seed, and every seed has to have the right environment. And when we have an environment where you are truly a leader and you're placed in the dark place and you're put in the darkness, there are some things that are required in this particular place that will emerge leaders. Because if the seed of leadership is in you, the darkness will help you emerge from it. Everything that you're doing in the dark place and other people pouring into you, being on platforms and discussions like this, really shutting the door and getting quiet, meditating, praying, being able to look at your business differently, the people you serve in a different way. I believe that when the seed is placed in the right soil and it's in the right season, what's in that seed is going to develop and it's going to grow, and a leader will emerge.
I love it. Mandy, I hope that answered your question. And I really do believe that this time of isolation is the time of maturation. Mm-hmm. This is where people are going to mature.
I love that. Isolation, people cause maturation. That is absolutely true.
Definitely. This is the time where you're going to grow, you're going to develop. People who didn't even see themselves as leaders, they're going to step up. They are going to step up. So when we come out of the season, there's going to be new leaders. There's going to be a new way of living, a new way of working. And we've got to learn how to embrace it, embrace the changes, embrace each other. Mm-hmm. And that's what a true leader is embracing and working with change. Yeah.
Okay, I saw one more question. I know we only have about a minute or two. I see this question from Lynette. And it says, what does God say about being an influencer? And, this is so good, Lynette. Thank you for that question. And this is going to bring so many of us peace. This is a scripture that I would share with others, Psalm 90:17. And I would share this with my clients. It says, may the favor of the Lord our God rest on us. Yeah. Establish the work of our hands for us. Yes, establish the work of our hands. Favor is influence. Favor, when you walk in the room, that means you have now the spirit of influence is upon you. And he has poured something in you. Now you have favor with others because you're able to influence. People are able to be attracted to you. And so the word of God tells us that he will, again, put favor upon us. It's going to rest on us, and he will establish the work of our hands. So the work that we've been given, we don't have to worry about trying to be a social media influencer. We don't have to worry about trying to make people buy our product, because when we are walking in purpose, what we were created to do, serving our mission, living out our vision, then the favor of God will rest on us. And resting meaning people will be attracted to us. People will begin to listen to what we are talking about, purchase our products, because the favor, the influence of what he's given us just rests on us.
I love it. I love it. And it just reinforces what you said earlier, that we are the salt and light of the world. And our steps are ordered. Our steps are already ordered. So whether you put out an offer today or an offer tomorrow, your steps are already ordained by God. And he's just waiting for you to walk the path. Mm-hmm. And when you walk the path and people don't understand, how is she still here? Favor. How did she manage to get up in the morning? Favor. I remember I delivered a talk, and I said, some of you will get it and some of you won't get it. You want to know what my strategy for success is? The word was favor. There was no strategy. I couldn't tell you the 5 steps to success. I couldn't tell you the 6 steps to money. It was the favor of God. And when the favor of God is on your life, you automatically become an influencer. You don't need to get the blue tick. You don't need Twitter to give you the blue tick or Instagram, because you're already wearing God's crown. God's crown is enough. Better than any ticks. Better than any ticks. So yes, we will be influencers. And God, when God says that I ordained you, I called you on the earth to lead, to execute strategy, he's already made you an influencer.
Absolutely.
Our steps are already ordered.
I do want to cover one thing before we go, Michelle, that I did share that I would be talking about today is discipline. And so when we talk about being business owners, women professionals, mompreneurs, careerpreneurs, owning our own businesses in this pandemic and having purpose, it's a part of that purpose and living out who we are and showing up as the best version of ourselves. It's about being disciplined and being consistent. And everything we're talking about, from the spiritual to the natural, will not manifest, will not happen if we do not do the work. So that means there is no magical formula. There is no spiritual awakening that's going to just happen to you. It's already happened to you. You now have to happen to it. That means you now have to be able to get over just the vision or the thought and put in the work. Consistently show up for your vision. Consistently show up for your business. Nothing against Netflix. I think it's amazing, but it also has its place. Schedule your time when you're going to do Netflix. Schedule your time when you're going to go chill out and cool out for a couple of hours, or say, I'm going to take this day off. I'm not doing no work. Sometimes I'll do a no thinking day. I will literally say, I'm not thinking about anything serious today. Like, I don't want to make a decision. And I literally say, this is that time frame that I get that to do. Okay. And then other days I say, on Sundays, I always say, I'm going to give myself 2 hours to watch this show. And I go find a show that's 90 minutes, because it's going to take me about 30 minutes to find it. If y'all like me, it takes me a while to find it. But in that, I'm able to allow that time for that particular thing. As a business owner, womanpreneur, entrepreneur, you want to make sure that we are being self-disciplined. And there has to be the discipline over desire, and it has to be execution over excitement. We have to be able to look at our vision and not just get excited about it, not just thinking about the products we want to create. We have to actually put in a strategy, which is, what is our plan to execute. Michelle was sharing with me about some HR practices and guidelines and workbooks that she was putting out there. And she was servicing these to some companies. I text Michelle, and it was late over here, so I knew it was late there. And I sent it to her, you all, with the intent that she would get it in the morning. So, like that for my time, nighttime, but in the morning for her. She responded. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning in the UK. And she was up being disciplined. Now, I'm not saying discipline means you have to be up past the midnight. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is she was being disciplined with enough to get it done. I'm sharing with you that no matter what your time of day is, but you want to create a space where you are consistently showing up for what's in you.
Yeah. I love what you said. I want to conclude on that bit about this discipline and execution over excitement.
Mm-hmm.
And we have such a desire to be the best, to do our best, to be a success, but take time to find your moment where you can discipline your desire.
Mm-hmm.
It's erratic. It wants this, it wants that. But what's going to make it work is the discipline, is execution, is actually knowing my desire is here, but my discipline has to be greater than my desire to get it done. It's so much easier just to wake up and do nothing. And it's harder to get up on time, to shut down Netflix, to open the computer, to deliver the work, to create the workbook. It's always harder to do the thing that is good for us and is right for us. So our discipline has to be greater than the desire. And our execution has to be higher and greater than our excitement. Definitely. And so thank you to Toyin, who said, I love it. Discipline is already in us. We just need to manifest it from within. It's there. You need to tap into it. You need to know all the areas of energies within you and tap into it.
And create systems, that work for you. What are your systems and structures, and create them in your home, in your mental structures, mental systems. Like, what is it that you need to pull out of you so that you can become the grandest version of the greatest vision you've ever seen of yourself?
Love it. Thank you so much. I think we should end with a prayer.
Absolutely.
We should end with a prayer. And this prayer is for absolutely everybody watching. So thank you for joining. Those who had to leave, you can definitely watch the replay. Thank you. Thank you for your questions. Thank you. And I see questions and comments still coming in. I just want to thank you all from the US, UK. I know there's someone from Sweden who's on, Nigeria. Thank you for staying up late with us as we will share and impart. And hopefully you've been inspired, motivated, but most of all, been blessed. So thank you from me and Dr. Kimberly.
Absolutely. I so appreciate being a part of this amazing dialogue with you all. Thank you for your insight. You all have truly just helped catapult all of us on today with your insight, your questions. And thank you, Michelle, for being a forerunner for women and collaborating so that we can come together and talk about what are some things that are actually in front of us as business owners and women professionals. So thank you all for having us into your homes, inviting us into your homes, into your studies, your offices, and taking time out of your schedules. Just because we're isolated and doing self home doesn't mean we're not busy. So I thank you and I appreciate your time. And I'm praying for you all, praying for our world. And I know that we are going to end up on the other side of this thing greater than when we came in.
Greater than we are. So let's just pray. And if you're at home, feel free to pray as well in your own way. We just want to pray just to put a conclusion, to solidify all that's been said, that God will honor this gift, that he will double it, that he will multiply it, that he will 10x it and use it for his glory. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus, that you have allowed us into this space. You've allowed us to serve your people. Father, Lord God, we come with no airs or graces. We are not perfect, God. But with you, you have made us whole, and you have unified two ladies, two women from across the world to come together to share, to impart, to provide insight, guidance, help, support, motivate, inspire, and to bless. And for that, I thank you. I thank you for downloading this into my spirit, Jesus. And I thank you that you have allowed me to humble my heart and to listen.
Yes.
I could have turned away and said, no, that's not for me. It's too difficult.
Yes.
I like technology. I should be sleeping. But God, I listened. And for that, I thank you because I can see a change in me.
Yes.
I can see a change in me, and I want to be the change that I want to see in the world. So I thank you for that. And for every single person that joined today, I want you to heap a special blessing.
Yes.
A special blessing, an anointing, Lord God. I want you to open up the windows of heaven and pour out blessings that there'll be not enough room to receive it. Yes. Every single person that jumped on, everyone that stayed on, our mothers, our friends, our family, our sisters, our brothers, a special anointing, a special blessing. And I put Dr. Kimberly before you, Jesus. I want you to enter her home. I want you to sit beside her as she eats. Be beside her as she types. Open her mind, that it flow with ideas, flow with new words of wisdom. Lord God, that she can impart into her people, that she can be salt and light in a world that needs more people like us to stand up and arise and to be counted. For that, Lord, I thank you.
Thank you, Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you all. Thank you. Dr. Kimberly, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And love to you all. Love to you all.
Absolutely. Thank you.
See
well,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Purpose Over Panic. We hope you have enjoyed this time. We are wishing you all the absolute very best that God has to offer you. Thank you, Michelle, for creating a platform where women can come together, share our voice, share our concerns, but most importantly, we can share God.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, guys. Love to you all. Bye.